Good morning, children, and welcome back to the new economic class of this week. Now, children, I'm so happy to see your response and to see your answers that you people have commented in the comment section box. I was happy that you people have gone through the chapters and you have replied the correct answers to the question which I asked, that what signs show that Palampur is a developed village. Now, before moving further towards the chapter, let us quickly recall what we studied in the previous class. Now, let me give you the introduction once more, that farming is the main activity in Palampur. Palampur, which is a hypothetical village, which is an imaginary village, whereas several other activities such as small scale manufacturing, dairy, transport, etc., are carried out in a limited scale. Then the production activities are of various types. Children, production activities are those where activities which are leading towards the result of different types of production. Now, production activities require different types of resources like natural resources, man-made items, human efforts, money, etc. If you remember, I explained that when human mind, we human resource are coming together and interacting with the environment, we are using natural resources, then we are interacting with man-made items, then it is our human efforts, and all these things are put together with money to produce different resources. Now, let me give the answer to that question which I asked in the previous class. Though everybody answered correctly, but yes, I should give the answer to everyone. Palampur is a well connected village with neighboring villages and towns. That is Raniganj, a big village which is 3 kilometers from Palampur. Then an all weather road connects the village to Raniganj. Then further on to the nearest small town of Shahpur. Fourth point, many kinds of transport are visible on this road, starting from bullock carts to tongas, then to boys loaded with jaggeries and other commodities. So we have seen different types of transportation. Then other commodities to motor vehicles like motorcycles, jeeps, tractors and trucks. So this was the answer to the question which I asked, that what signs are showing that Palampur is a well developed village and how it is connected to nearby villages. Now, let us come to a brief introduction of Palampur village. Though we know that it is a hypothetical village, it is an imaginary village, but yes, what the chapter is declaring about Palampur village, children. The Palampur village has about, children, note down these specific details, 450 families belonging to different caste. Then the village is having 450 families belonging to different caste and 80 upper caste families that own the majority of land in the village. Now, a general platform where 450 families are there. Then out of these 450 families, there are 80 families which enjoy the superiority over the village. Means these 80 upper caste families are having majority of the land in village. Now this much is understood. One common platform in Palampur, 450 families. Out of 450, how many families are upper caste? 80. And these 80 families are having majority of the land portion. Then their houses are, children, of some of them quite large, made of bricks with plastering cement. Then the social caste comprises of 1/3 of the population and live in one corner of the village and in much smaller houses of which are mud and straw. Now, understand the situation of the families. We are beginning with the introduction of the Palampur. In this village Palampur, children, there are 450 families. Then out of these 450 families, 80 families are upper caste. They are having majority of the land portion. Then after that, children, there are SC, scheduled caste families, which are comprising of 1/3. 1/3 of the total Palampur families. And then they are living one in one corner of the village, and their houses are made of mud and straw. Children, we all have seen this in today's time also, where majority enjoys the social gathering. Majority in society enjoys all the benefits, whereas minorities feel little deprived. Same case is happening in Palampur, children. Palampur, out of 450 families, children, the 80 are upper caste families. That is why they are having majority of the land. Then after these 80 families, there are, children, these one third of the total population families which are scheduled caste families, and then their houses are made of mud and straw, while the upper caste families, which were 80 families, their houses were built with bricks, concrete, cement and plasters. Now after this, children, electricity powers all the tube wells in the fields and is used in various types of small businesses. So electricity is the basic need for any kind of business which is being run, isn't it? Even if you are, children, owning a shop, you cannot run a shop without electricity. How are you going to fetch light then? You are running a small scale industry, you are owning a shop, you are owning dairy manufacturing. Everywhere electricity holds lot of importance, children. So children, electricity holds lot of importance for any kind of work. Then children, Palampur has 2 primary schools and 2 high school. Another sign why Palampur is considered to be much advanced, much developed than any other village of the country. Then there is a primary health center which is run by the government, and 1 private dispensary where 6 are being treated. So children, round about how many signs and symptoms we have seen? We have seen the good transportation, the good connectivity with other villages, then 1 dispensary which is run by the government where 6 are being treated. Then there are 2 primary school, 1 high school, children. Then electricity is there. You know, electricity is a sign of advancement, children. So all these signs are proving that Palampur is a developed village. Now after introducing the village, children, let me again come to various organization of production. Organization of production is nothing but, in a simpler form, factors of production which we discussed in the previous class. Number 1, land. Number 2, labor. Number 3 is capital. Where capital, we discussed that it is further divided into 2 parts, where fixed capital and working capitals. Fixed capital was talking about tools, machines, buildings, and working capital, which was raw material and money in hand. Now fixed capital, where tools, machines and buildings are used. See, tools and machines range from very simple tools such as farmer's plow to higher machines, sophisticated machines like generators, turbines, computers, etc. Then tools, machines, buildings can be used in production over many years. That is why they are called fixed capital. Like I explained in the previous class, children, once we have purchased the tractor, it is going to be with us for further years, for harvesting, for farming. Therefore, once we have purchased the computer, we are not going to purchase computer for all other software programs every year now and then. Once the computer is purchased, we are going to do all the work over there, isn't it? Turbines, generators, they are one-time investment and they are going to help you all over the times in the further years. So they are considered to be as fixed capital, the first part of the physical capital, fixed capital. Now, physical capital was further divided into working capital. Working capital, from the name only you get to know capital which is involved in the working strategy, in the working scenario of production, children. Working capital is further explained as raw materials and money in hand. For example, production requires a variety of raw material such as yarn used by the weaver and the clay used by the potter. A potter cannot make any pots without clay. Yarn is the basic soul of weaving, isn't it? So some money is always required during production and to make payments and to buy other necessary items. Like I explained, once you need to start with one business, you have to invest, you have to purchase different things and to compile together to start that business. Therefore, raw materials and money are considered to be as working capital. So children, we have discussed the 2 types of physical capital, fixed capital, working capital. One is fixed, one is working. Now, the factors of production will be explained in detail. We all know the three factors of production. Now we'll see how can we define factors of production, children. Every production is organized by combining land, labor, physical capital and human capital, and together they are known as factors of production. So when we combine together land, when we combine together labor, when we combine physical capital and then human capital, together they are known as factors of production, children. Now we'll look towards these factors one by one. Land. Children, farming is the main production activity in Palampur. Why farming is production activity? Again, the term is giving you the answer. If I ask you for one more question, why farming is the main production activity in Palampur, children, you will say production activity because farming leads to production of different crops. This is the activity which is ultimately resulting in production of crops. So it is the main production activity of the village Palampur. Then 75% of the people who are working are dependent on farming for their livelihood. Of course, see, when a village has 75% of its population engaged in farming, it is obvious that people are depending on farming for their livelihood. Then they could be farmers or farm laborers. Children, farmers or farm laborers are same, working over a piece of farm, right? Then land under cultivation is practically fixed. Land area is not to be shifted. Since 1960, children, in Palampur, there has been no expansion in land area under cultivation, because this is a village where things are entitled, land is fixed. You cannot increase another piece of land. If you are going to increase another piece of land, then you need to turn one suitable land into cultivation. Then how are you going to bring that extra piece of land? Because population is there, people are there who are having their houses. So land is totally fixed in Palampur. Again, important characteristic of Palampur. After that, children, second, in 1960, since 1960, Palampur, there has been no expansion in land area under cultivation. For farming, for cultivation, from 1960, there is no increase in the land area. After that, children, by then some of the wastelands in the village have been converted into cultivable land. So then people are going to find for different measures how to bring more land for cultivation. So people are bringing wasteland, land which is being entitled for no other work, that is considered to be a wasteland. So people are bringing wasteland for cultivation. After that, there exists no further support, scope to increase farm production by bringing new land under cultivation. So in nutshell, if we are going to say that there is no scope to bring new land into cultivation. All right. Now, the standard unit of measuring the land in Palampur is hectares. Still, in everywhere we see land is always measured in hectares in villages. So and so hectares of land are in village is available for cultivation. So measuring unit in Palampur is hectare. Measuring unit of land is hectare. Important point to keep in mind. Now, next, after getting the brief introduction of the village Palampur, knowing how much land is suitable, let us ask one question. When we have come across to this much introduction to the village, is there a way to grow more crops from the same land? Children, listen to the question. Is there a way to grow more crops from the same piece of land? Answer is yes, definitely. Reason behind yes. Palampur is an advanced village. It is a developed village. People are knowing the new technology. People are well aware of the new strategies of farming and cultivation. Therefore, yes, there is a big scope to bring more production from the same piece of land. How? Let us see. Children, Palampur would resemble a village of the western part of UP. UP's western part is resembling to Palampur because western part is near, yes, Punjab, Haryana. So western part is near Punjab, Haryana, and we all know Punjab is well, advanced and developed state in terms of agriculture. So Palampur is resembling western part of UP. Number two, reason behind bringing more production. Number two, all land is cultivated in Palampur. No land is left idle during the rainy season. That is Kharif, farmers grow jowar and bajra. Then these plants are used as cattle feed. So when they are growing apart from jowar and bajra, these plants are being used as cattle fodder also. Third thing, children, after this it is followed by cultivation of potato between October and December. Now rainy season, soon after rainy season, that is July, October and November, they are growing potato, isn't it? Potato. After that, which is winter season. Now after this winter season comes where rabi crops are grown, which is wheat. Now from the wheat produced, farmers keep enough wheat for the families. Children, now you are seeing the brains people are using in Palampur. Firstly, they are advanced, they are more developed, then they are producing more and more crops from the same piece of land. How? This is showing multiple cropping system, children. Multiple cropping. Multiple, the word itself is giving you the meaning many crops, isn't it? So apart from the jowar and bajra, soon after rainy season, October they are growing, October to December they are growing potato. After that they are growing wheat. So many crops are grown. Then when wheat is produced in large quantity, the village people of Palampur keep one portion of wheat for their families also. Now, for consumption and sell surplus wheat at the market at Raniganj. Children, what we do when we are running a business, we have extra of stock. We keep it in reserve, isn't it? And then we go and fetch for selling that crop whenever it is in need. So people of Palampur are keeping surplus wheat with themselves and they are selling it in the market of Raniganj. In this way, it is fetching them money. Now, a part of the land area is also devoted to sugarcane, which is harvested once every year. Sugarcane in its raw form or as a jaggery is sold to traders in Shahpur. So children, they are utilizing the land for so many different purposes. From wheat, apart from producing wheat for themselves, they are selling the surplus wheat, they are getting money. After that, they are producing sugarcane also from that some piece of land. From sugar, they are producing jaggery, which is also known as gur in Hindi. So jaggery is being sold to traders of Shahpur, another nearby village. So children, by now we have studied how land is utilized. How land is utilized for different purposes, and how people are much advanced and much aware how to make best possible utilization from same piece of land. Then we studied today that land in Palampur is fixed. No other land is available for cultivation. Even people of Palampur have tried to bring in the wasteland for cultivation. Another thing we studied in this, that families of Palampur, how many families are there? 450. Out of 450 families, 80 families are of superior caste, that is higher caste. Then 1/3 of the total families was scheduled caste, SCs, and they were comprising the houses made of mud and straw, while the upper caste families were having houses built of stones, bricks and plasters. So children, that's all for today's class. Again, I would request you all to please go through the chapter, read it thoroughly. I hope the chapter is understood by each and every one of you. We will continue the chapter again in the next class. Thank you and have a wonderful day, children. Please go through the assignments which are attached with this presentation. Bye-bye and take care.